Hello, and welcome to Inside the Mind of, a podcast where I like to dive deeper into the minds of some of my favorite people and people who inspire me in the wrestling community. Join with me, of course, I'm your hostess with the mostest, Katie Kinsey, baby. That's me. Join with me is the first female guest I'm having on the show. She is half of the former Deadass Girls podcast, rest in peace. The Honorable Judge Gizzy, Cafeteria Court, if you know, you know. How you doing?
Thanks, Katie. I'm doing pretty decent for Saturday. How are you?
I'm gonna say the same. I'm gonna say the same.
Yeah. In case y'all don't know Judge Jizzy, you may know me from my former nickname, Jizzy G6. And I think, if you don't know why, it's because I stay fly till I die. It's been a while since I've done that.
That's the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Feels good in my soul.
You look good. That's what we're here. That's why we're here. We're gonna get to know about you. We're gonna talk about you a little bit, and then you can ask me shit at the end. Don't worry, you can flip the script on me. You can flip the script.
Listen, it's a conversation with my homegirl, all right? We here.
Honestly, and you were like, "Oh, like I didn't expect you to pick me. Why the fuck would I not pick you?"
No, because that whole like I felt like I had lost my identity after the podcast died. And I saw it. Obviously, people followed the page because of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And when that message came out, it's like the follower count dropped. Like it was the same night I saw 75 people and counting. It still keeps going on. And I will admit, I haven't been on my Twitter game as much as I used to be because I guess I stopped I stopped doing shit just for the podcast and I just started doing shit for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Which, is okay. I guess it's just weird because people know you, and I say know you very loosely. It's not like we were famous or anything, but I guess most of the people who I met on Twitter through wrestling Twitter, they only fucked with the podcast, and I think it's just because of the vulgarity of it and just like all the shit that we used to say. It wasn't until they started seeing like a different side of us, like when we started talking about the actual issues of wrestling, all of a sudden people were like, "Oh, that's boring. Go back to talking about sex, bro. Go back to talking about pegging." And it's like, that's fun, but there's more to life than just that, right? Like,
Honestly.
like a wrestling fan is nuanced. So
Wow. Poetic. I love it. And I'm just we like besides the Christmas parties and cafeteria shout out, I've never got to like work with you.
yes, and that is partly my fault, also my former host fault. Um, and so okay, so here's why. After a few bad collabs, I instantly was like, no, I'm not doing this shit anymore. People are wasting my fucking time. People are wasting my energy, and it's just weird, right? Where you have someone who doesn't listen to your shit, doesn't understand how you act, how you speak, blah, blah, blah. And then they come on, or they ask you to come on, and then they kind of just like, okay, go do your thing, dance. And it just started feeling so weird and disrespectful because it's like, yo, I'm not a fucking caricature. Like, I'm not here to make your podcast better. Like, I'm sorry, listen. I will admit, for two fucking strangers from Brooklyn and Queens to come up and create a random podcast that amassed the cult following that it did
Mm-hmm.
nowhere was kind of strange because like I had people who had bigger audiences than we had tell us, oh, you know that the episode you were on is like the most listened to episode ever, and I'm like, wonder why. So so after that, I started kind of being super picky, which sucks because I felt like I missed out on a lot of opportunities to work with awesome people, especially women. Like that was one thing that that kind of I struggled with a lot with trying to grow our audience is every time I'm like obsessed with metrics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I used to run the numbers and I would see how we had so many more male listeners and female listeners, it was just like, okay, I get it, it's wrestling, male dominated. But even when we tried to appease to the ladies, it was just like it was either they really dug us or they really hate us. It was like we were like AEW. You either fuck with us or you didn't. And a lot of female fans that we've encountered, I'm not saying every female fan, just the ones that we've encountered in our past, really did not fuck with us. So it was weird to navigate that that field. And truly, the reason why we made the podcast initially was for a safe space for a casual wrestling fan of color, especially women of color, to come together and just talk, because there's a difference between a wrestling fan, a casual wrestling fan, and like a diehard,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I felt like we fell in the casual side, even though we've been watching it for decades. I felt like we were in the casual side because I'm not gonna lie. Listen, if somebody hits me up like, "Yo, we're gonna go to the spot, drink up real quick," and it's a pay per view, I'm like, "Listen, I'm going out. Like, fuck the pay per view. I'm going out." Or like if I wasn't feeling raw one night, I'd be like, "Okay, I'm gonna watch YouTube videos or something." So like, there was more to life than just wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of people did not understand that take. They were like, "What do you mean? You fucking wrestling 8 days a week?" I'm like, "Bro, no. I got a job.
No, honestly.
I have to
Like, oh man. But we're making it happen now, and that's all that matters.
Making it happen now. This is not the first. This is the first of many collabs. All right. And I just want to give a special shout out to all of the badass female podcasters out there. All right. Um, there's a lot of y'all. I can't think of the names. I mean, those wrestling girls, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
fucks with them. Pretty Heels and I think they're called Wrestling Wind Down. If I fucked up your name, my bad, because I have really bad stoner memory, so that's probably why. But it's so awesome to see the different sides of female wrestling fans. Like you have the casual female wrestling fan, you have the diehards, you have those who know stats out the fucking ass, you have those who actually work in the industry, like either interviewing or makeup or whatever. And it's great to see because it's a field that needs the women's voice to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
Like it we need to spotlight female wrestling fans because guess what? From a business standpoint, there's fucking money there.
Mm-hmm.
You can come out with a cute merch that the girlies can wear. You're making money. You can bring out hot, sexy men for the girlies to come through and thirst over. Come on. Katie, you know what I'm talking
As I say, and if you got some pretty ladies, nothing wrong with that either.
about. Listen, Tony Storm, that's all I got.
That's Tony Storm. And as of right now, you might not agree, but I know Matt agrees with me. Mandy Rose.
Okay, so let me just say this. Mandy Rose is a fucking gorgeous woman.
Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Face, everything. The thing about Mandy Rose is that her makeup be too harsh on her. Cause I saw, what was that? I think it was Vogue. One of those magazines. They did like a get ready with me video with her where she got ready for the day. She is fucking beautiful without makeup on.
Mm-hmm.
So then they pile on a bunch of shit on her and it just washes her out completely. So that's my problem is that her makeup be looking muddy waters and that hair is fried as fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
The ends are splitting. It's giving the girl from The Ring. Okay. Like it's not cute. It's giving stringy noodle. So that's what it is. Mandy Rose, absolutely fucking bombshell. Mandy Rose makeup and hair, fire that team.
Fire that team.
Fire them. Fire WWE Glam Squad, okay?
Shit. Shots fired. But seriously, they need to. Sometimes they bring out makeup and I'm just like, that ain't it. That ain't it.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna ask you some questions. You can get as in depth as you want. If there's something you don't want to answer, you can just be like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna answer it." This is a very,
Listen,
this is a very
I
laid back interview.
thrive off of conflict. Let's do it.
Oh shit! What did I do? So, you kind of brought up why you started a podcast, but how did you get involved with podcasting?
Good question. I'll tell you a funny ass story. So, I was a junior in high school, and Gina was a senior in high school, and we had a YouTube channel. It is buried. No one will ever see the light of day, thank
Damn
God.
it.
We used to do Jersey Shore show recaps.
Stop. Stop.
I just want to say it just for saying that.
That's amazing. Oh my god, I love that.
We used to do like Jersey Shore recaps, and we used to do like life advice, like advice for fat girls kind of thing, because you know we were fat girls. Word, bitch, I still am. Anyways, it didn't take off, obviously, because I didn't have the technology. I didn't understand how to edit right. So I was kind of like learning as I went.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube back in 2006, 2005, 2000, that was like the Wild Wild West YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, that was like YouTube raw. That shit was just unprotected sex on the internet. All right. And so, you know, we were like, yo, like, I think we're really funny. We should have a show, but the YouTube channel fell. I went away to college, and then I started having my little college life, which was kind of mid. She went to college, you know, so um, it was one day I had came home to visit, and we were sitting around having a conversation, like smoking, eating, and she's like, "Yo, we were really funny," and I was like, "Yeah, no." She's like, "No, no, no bullshit. Like someone should record us because we're funny." So the first ever podcast, which never really aired, it was just for our own ears, was me whipping out my phone using the microphone app, like the recorder app, and we just spoke. We talked for like 3 hours. We listened to it back. We're like, yo, this is hilarious. And then we started showing it to other friends, and they're like, yo, you should put this on the internet, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Couple years passed. Now we got jobs. Now we got money. Now we're dealing with adult bullshit. But you know, we got money now. So it's like, hey, let's buy mics. Let's, you know, I'll figure out how to edit. And let's actually do a podcast. And Gina was like, yeah, let's do it. We were excited. And you know, the first episode dropped. Oh, the first episode we recorded, and it was corrupt. We had to re-record, and that's the first one that dropped. It ended up coming out the same day as the Royal Rumble. So that was fun. But then it was strange because now we're trying to figure out like, oh shit, like, we gotta do this more than once, right? Like, we gotta keep doing this, and I'm watching YouTube tutorials to learn how to edit. We're also trying to figure out our work schedule because we're in two different industries. So, you know, I was lucky enough to have a regular Monday to Friday job, but then she didn't. So that is how we started that. Actually, do you want to hear some of the names that we initially were thinking about?
Lay it on me.
I got it on my phone. I gotta bring it up because they were so bad.
I'm so excited to hear these.
So one of them was Double Cup Love with Gizzy and Gina. I think that was like a play on like Bra Cup.
Okay.
The Double G Show, you know, like Gizzy Gina.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, which she vehemently shot down. I kept saying yes, let's do it, but she was not with it. Was the Goya and Cocoa Bread show. Right?
What?
So I'm Hispanic. So like Goya products. And she's Jamaican and cocoa bread. Like they eat cocoa bread. So, yeah, everyone was like, fuck no, that's not gonna be the name of the show. So there you go. So then I was like, so we were having a conversation. I'm like, yo, that's dead ass stupid. And my mom was like, oh, you guys will always say dead ass this, dead ass that. You guys are like little dead ass girls. And we're like, that's the name of our show. There it is.
Shout out.
Shout out, mom.
Shout out to your mom, man. That's crazy.
So that's how we came up with the name.
Oh man, you started with Ginger. That's. I can't wait for people to hear this episode now.
Well, you know what? Goya and Cocoa. Listen, if you listen to this episode, tell us if you want a one night only Goya and Cocoa Bread show. We'll drop it for you guys.
Oh shit! You heard it here first. So
She's gonna text me right now. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
she's somehow listening. She's like, "The fuck did you just say?"
Yeah, she's like, I'm pretty sure she's reading my mind. She's like, please don't stop bringing this up. I'm like, it's a funny story.
It would be very funny. I guarantee people would listen to it. A one night only, a return.
Exactly. It's like a one-off pay-per-view, like Great Balls of Fire.
Tell me why that was the first one I thought of too. Pay-per-view's ass. So, correct me if I'm wrong. The episodes are no longer up, right?
Oh, I mean, I have them in my phone, aka my computer, but they're not published anymore. At least I don't think they are. Even if you download it on the app, it will completely kind of erase.
Oh wow.
That was something that I had thought of doing because I realized we just say a lot of unsavory things. And in the event that one of us gets famous or ends up having a really hot shot job in the future, I didn't want no one finding like, hey, we want to offer you the CEO position, but back in 2019, you said I will peg Satan and become king of hell. Yeah, I don't think that aligns with our corporate values, so we're gonna have to let you go. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to get canceled because I said some stupid shit.
No, I get it.
So there we go.
But even though your episodes are no longer available for public listening, do you have a favorite episode you've done?
Ooh, good question. Yes, actually, there's two favorite episodes.
Okay.
For different reasons. So the first favorite, my personal favorite, was actually called Pegging Satan. Because that episode, we were so... Actually, no, I'm lying. My favorite episode never aired, and I'll tell you why. So I was actually sick with the flu, and Gina was just getting over the flu. We decided to call each other and record over the phone. And when I say that, it was like, mind you, so there's two people sick, high off of meds, just talking about wrestling.
Oh no.
We were so unhinged on that episode. The reason why it never aired was because when I went up to upload it, for some reason, I guess the format I had recorded it on my phone did not work into Audacity, and I didn't know how to convert it. I also was too sick to even care, so we ended up re-recording it. So that was my personal favorite. I don't have that audio anymore because it was on an older phone that I had, but that was my personal favorite because 3 hours of us being fucking doped up on medicine, saying the stupidest shit. It was so funny that my brother had friends over in the living room and they're all cackling because of what we're saying. All right. So that was a personal achievement. Well, the second favorite episode is actually I would actually have to say hmm I would actually have to say it was the one that we did with Faye Jackson. Just because that was the first time we ever got like an actual legit wrestling guest on. And she was the perfect guest for us because she actually kind of meshed with like our style and how we talk. And there's actually segments of a conversation that we had like way after the recording stopped, which I will never repeat because I'm not trying to get sued by no wrestler. Let's just say she gave me a lot of pipe and hot tea, and I was like, wow, I feel so connected with this person. Like, I just felt like, I was like one of the girlies, like in, wrestling knowledge. So that would be it. Yeah.
Okay. That's. I couldn't even imagine all the shit she could tell you.
I was like, and she was like, this is not recording. I'm like, no, it's not recording because I'm not trying to get sued.
Yeah, we ain't trying to get sued. We ain't trying to get canceled. None of that
Exactly.
shit. No,
actually, we were trying to get canceled. That was our main goal of the podcast.
Yeah, so explain that to me.
So it was more so like it was just a joke. It was more like how much bullshit can we say?
Okay.
Or we incite the rage of wrestling Twitter. Because think about it. When wrestling Twitter hates you, that's when you get the most engagements. See, I was thinking like a social media manager. I was not thinking like a fan. I was like, listen, if we could say something and it goes viral and everyone hates us, you're gonna form a pocket of people who's gonna like it. And they're gonna defend you to the death. So that was our goal. We were trying to get canceled. And we did it. People started loving us. I'm like,
shit. Well,
not working.
We gotta change it up. I mean, you said some out of pocket shit. Like, what was it? Like a month or two ago about the. Oh god, I can't remember. It was the trend that was going around Twitter. You know exactly what I'm talking about too.
I did two things that were out of pocket, and that's what ended up getting our Twitter page fucking banned. Well, not banned, but we got put in Twitter jail for 7 days.
You did.
So yeah. Did you want me to talk about it?
You do not have to if you don't want to.
I mean, let's just say it was a certain reference for Mr. This Benoit. Let's just say that.
Still says the last name.
Oh yeah. An idiot.
No, you're not. Don't say that about yourself.
Yeah, it was out of pocket. It was out of pocket. And you know what's crazy? This is how I knew it was out of pocket because the post was only up for 1 minute before our account got locked.
They were waiting for someone to do it.
So many people. I don't understand. I'm like, yo, I was just trying to have a good time here. You don't have to throw me in Twitter just for 7 days. This is an injustice. I didn't even get a fair trial. I
mean, we know all about the fair trials. Cafeteria Court, so.
Oh God, Cafeteria Court. Anyone who's listening to this, you will not be privy to Cafeteria Court, but let's just say that if you apply to be an attorney, please know some things. Like, please know how to defend your client. Okay, you can't just show up and say dumb shit.
In Justin's defense, he legit thought everything was a joke until we actually got there, and he was like, "Oh fuck."
That's funny. You say in his defense, he had no defense at all.
No. You know what? I don't even want to talk.
You know what it was though? I think it was funny. Like the seriousness of it was actually funny. Like it felt like a sketch. You know what I mean? And I mean, I thought it was funny. Funnier of how clueless he was.
I was drinking during that, so I was cracking the fuck up. I had no involvement. I had to be bailiff at one point.
Because you have Vince who was working.
He's literally at work and he's like writing on signs, being like, "I object," and everyone's just like, "Shut up!" He's not even saying anything.
I'm gonna have to say though, when they played that SpongeBob clip, I had to turn my camera on
You did.
because I was crying. I was in tears. I was like, I was not expecting this.
No, that caught everyone off guard. Everyone was just like, "We gotta take a minute." That was the first accidental recess.
Literally the funniest I had laughed in a long time.
Oh, that was so fun. So that's a great segue actually. So the playing of that SpongeBob video during Cafeteria Court, very unexpected, made everyone crack up. Any unexpected moments you can think of, whether it was on Deadass Girls or any podcast you were a guest on, that made you crack up in tears, be like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, why'd you say that?" Anything that just caught you off guard?
There's actually been several, but I think there was one time it was we were recording, and this was when we used to record in person. So we used to actually go to each other's houses and record. And Gina had said something so disgusting, like so nasty about a wrestler that I looked at her, and then she just sitting there like giggling to herself. But she was like, "What? I'm wrong?" And when I say that, I fell out of the chair laughing. Okay, so you hear a thud on the recording. It's me falling out of the chair, dying of laughter because I was so disgusted in her choices. Like, I think we were doing like a fuck, marry, kill segment, and I picked the worst, ugliest wrestlers, and then she said something. Who was it? Oh, it was about who? Damn it! Razor Ramon. But she had said something about Razor Ramon now, not Razor Ramon back then. I'm talking about him today. Oh, and I'm like, ew. It was so gross that I fell out of my chair. So I think that was a moment, and then there was another moment during we had our For the Culture episode. So I had Sir Wilkins from the Jobber Tears podcast. Shout out to y'all. And PR from Those Wrestling Girls, and we were doing the Pornhub year in review because that was a segment that we did on our show. Every year around Christmas, we reviewed porn and stuff, and he told us this story of him fucking someone at a gym, and I was just so perplexed. Like, and because he stopped, and there was like a dead silence, and then it's just me laughing because it was such a crazy story. Oh God! You know, you should do a Pornhub year in review. That's very great insights, great stats.
I feel like that's more Matt's thing. I just happen to be on his show a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I feel like I'm on the show more than Vince at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like you should just kick him off and just take over because I mean, in his defense, that dude got a lot going on in his life.
Oh, he does. He's constantly busy. Like, he was doing like overnights for like the past week and a half or some shit. Mm-hmm. He's just a busy guy, and Matt always knows I'm there to hop in and be like, "Tag me in, coach. I'm in. I'm ready."
They're like, "Listen, she don't got nothing going on anyways. Let's call her."
I got nothing going on in my life. It's dismal. It's terrible.
But you know what? At least you're alive. You're alive and you have no STDs, I hope.
I do not.
Okay, great. There you go. You see, you're winning already. You're already winning in life.
Winning at life. Because I'm alive and I have no STDs. I love that.
That's the jackpot right there. I mean,
ding.
People forget that STDs exist. And I'm like, listen, COVID is real, but also STDs are still like STDs are not taking a break. They're not in Cabo for spring breaks. STDs will still be here. Like, the CDC released this report of like a spike in syphilis and chlamydia. I'm like, what the fuck? Are we in middle school? Why? Put up, baby. Condoms are free in a lot of places.
I say a lot of places, not every place, but a lot of places.
Right. And also, why are you fucking during a pandemic? Anyways, I digress.
Neither here nor there. So, since you aren't podcasting anymore, what do you like to do in your spare time? The little spare time that you might have? Any hobbies that you're doing?
All right. So when I finish having my existential crises, I actually have been picking up art. So I picked art a couple months back. So I've always done art, but not seriously. It was just like little things here and there. But now I've actually been serious about it. I have a sketchbook and I have pens, and I'm always like watching art videos and drawing. So that's been great. Not just to pass the time, but just for my mental health because I mean, the last couple years have been kind of rough. I also been picking up candle making. I'm not very good at it, but I have saved a lot of money from buying candles because I make them now. So that's great.
Shit. Okay.
Um, I've also been doing DIYs, and that's because I do not like throwing shit out.
Okay.
I feel like, listen, if I can repurpose this somehow, because we spent money on this, I'm not throwing this out. So, I've been doing like little DIYs in our living room, and listening to music. I'll watch wrestling and I'll talk shit on Twitter. I don't know. It's funny because when I think about my hobbies, there's just so many things that I do, and I think I do that just to keep myself busy, just so that you know. Like, I mean, if I could, my hobby would be sleep. Like, if I could just sleep for like 14 hours a day, that'd be fantastic. But that's not. So, get up, do something, be a productive member of society. I guess.
Don't you hate that?
I really do.
It's just the worst.
Like, first off, let me just say this. If you're under the age of 18 listening to the show, adulthood is a scam. Okay? Let me just tell you why. First of all, soap. Let me just tell you, you need to buy so much fucking soap. Different kinds of soap. You need soap to wash your ass. You need soap to wash your teeth. You need soap to clean the bathroom. You need soap to do the dishes. You need a soap for your fucking hands. You need soap on soap, soap for the fucking laundry. It's just so much soap. Adulthood is just soap. Toothpaste, teeth soap. Body wash, body soap. Clorox, everything soap. Like, it's just too much. And things cost money. And we're not even getting paid enough. So you go to college, like, oh, I'm gonna get an art history major, or oh, I'm gonna major in fucking, I don't know, paper toilet studies. And then you fucking graduate and you end up being a fucking barista at Starbucks, making minimum wage, by the way. And let me tell you something else about adulthood. Taxes.
Terrible.
That's right, taxes. When someone tells you, yeah, I make 65K a year, that's before taxes. So they're not really balling out of control like you think they are. Okay? I know I kind of went on a little rant.
Oh, no. Listen, I got the quote, adult life is just soap, and that has made my entire day. Like, I never really, thought about it like that, but now that's all I'm gonna think about.
It's just soap. It's just everything soap. Oh, shampoo, conditioner, hair soap.
Hair soap? Shit.
All right? Like, it's just, all you're doing is thinking about germs, you're thinking about bills, you're thinking about things. And then when you have a day off and you think, oh, I'm going to catch up on this, I'm going to do that. Nope. You wake up late on Saturday afternoon and you stay in bed because you're fucking tired, because you don't want to do jack squat.
Same. Honestly.
So, like, when I see people, like, on my Instagram, like, going out, like, oh, my God, we went to Ibiza. Oh, ooh, we went on vacation. Like, oh, we went on a 4-day hike. I'm like, what the y'all don't got lives. There's no way that you have a job and energy to do that stuff. Like there's no actual way that you work 40 hours a week and you still have energy to go and fucking sprint up a fucking mountain like a goddamn squirrel. There's no way that you work a 40-hour work week and you got energy to, oh, I'm gonna go thrifting and flip this thrift. No, stop. Stop the cap.
You sound like a squirrel. What the fuck? It's little things you say pop me in the best fucking way, and I live for it. Because if someone can make me laugh, then you're golden. You make me laugh constantly.
And you know what the funny part is? So, a while ago, someone had asked me like, "Oh, you know, like you're always on," and I'm like, "Always on? Bitch, do I look like a fucking light bulb? This is what are you talking about? I'm always on. Like this is how I act when I like people.
Mm-hmm.
When I like you, you have no personality because I don't like you, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
But if I fucked with you, then obviously I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be my regular self. But if I don't like you, it's just like okay. So it was funny because I had went on their show, and everyone on that show was just fucking dead, just like deadpan, very just monotone, very. I think they were all high or something. Like they were just so. And I'm over there like trying to hype it up because I'm like, yo, you guys got me here at fucking 11 p.m. on a Thursday night. I could be sleeping right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I had to carry that show on my fucking back. And it's not even my goddamn show. And then, they have the nerves to tell me, oh, we would love to have you back. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. Fucking no. Like, absolutely. I'd rather get 14 fucking COVID vaccines back to back with side effects than ever go on that show again.
Wow.
And I had gotten the side effect when I got the second shot. I was done for the weekend. Like I was up. So I'd rather experience that 14 times over.
You are a better person than me because nope. Fuck that. I didn't get any, thankfully, but like I couldn't even imagine. I'd be like, nah, I'm done. I'm laying here. Nobody talk to me.
It was obviously the same day my arm was hurting and this and that, but the next day I couldn't even get out of bed. Damn. It was so bad. Like I had body aches, a headache. And I was like, yo, they actually put the real COVID in my arm. My partner's like, no, you're not. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm dying of COVID right now. Then the next day I was fine. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I exaggerated.
Just a little. So I asked the same questions to everybody, and I was like hearing the answers to this one. If you could have just a sit down dinner, just a conversation with any 3 wrestlers, dead or alive, who are you picking?
Okay.
And why? You don't really have to explain why if you don't want to.
Oh no, baby girl, I'm giving you content. All right.
You really are.
This is gonna be an interesting choice, and I'm gonna tell you why. The first person I'm going to be choosing here is going to be Mr. Chris Benoit. All right, that's the first person. The second person I'm choosing is Jimmy Snuka.
You, dude. Okay.
And hear me out. I got a reason. And the third person is Hulk Hogan. Here is why. Because I will be at dinner with them, and I'm sneaking in a little poison in their food. But the poison won't kill them instantaneously. It'll be like a slow killing poison. Because I want to sit there and show them a projector, like a screen projector of all the horrific shit they've done, and just look them in the eye and ask them, why the fuck did you do this? And they can't escape because it's my dinner. And at the end of the dinner, they're gonna be coughing and wheezing, and then boom, they're gonna fucking drop dead. So they're gonna die again, except for Hulk, because Hulk Hogan, this is new death. So, um, yeah. Actually, I'm fucking joking. I don't mean that.
I was gonna say, I mean, that's one way to take this question. Sure, baby, go ahead.
If I had to have a dinner with, it would actually have to be with Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Roman Reigns because those are bad bitches of wrestling. And I just feel like it would just be a fun time. Like it would just be like drinks, dinner, dancing, like fun conversations. Just kind of get their insight on being, people of color in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Also, to look at Roman Reigns from across the dinner table. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come
That's
on
not a
now.
bad choice. So that would be my happy dinner. My murder dinner obviously would be my first choice. You can edit that out if you want.
Oh, it's staying in. I mean, to be fair, you did give good reasoning.
I did give exactly because imagine you have to confront the shit that you did.
You gotta confront your own demons.
Exactly. Like imagine fucking Benoit waking up like, oh shit, yo, it's 2022. And I'm like, yeah, everybody fucking hates you, bro. And he's like, why? What would I do? And I'm like, what you do? Um, Xavier, first slide, please. And we just have both slides. It's Xavier Woods. He's helping me with the AV. I'm like, first slide, please. Thank you. And he's just seeing everything. And I'm just gonna show him how much wrestling thrived without him. It's like, look at all the good stuff that's happened. Look at all the bad shit that's happened because of you. You fucking bastard. Jimmy Snuka, it's like, yo, where is she? Where's her body? What you do with it? What actually happened that night? What did Vince tell you, my boy? And because he never got to go on trial because he died during, before he went to court. So I'm gonna have my own little court. I'm gonna be Judge Gizzy right there.
The Honorable Judge Gizzy.
I'll be like, boom, there it is. And then Hulk Hogan's like, oh, I didn't do anything, brother. I'm like, let me tell you something, bald bitch. Yeah, yes, you fucking did. Clip. And I'm gonna make him watch that dirty sex tape that he did. And tease him at the same time. I'm gonna be like, look at this. Look at this ugly blubber right here. That's you. That's fucking you. And they're all gonna be sitting around like, oh my God, I'd rather be dead right now. And I'm like, really? Interesting you say that. Because all of your meals have been poisoned with side, and they'll just drop dead for dessert.
Oh man, that sounds like a fucking Criminal Minds episode.
It really does. Like I need a lot of help.
That's okay. Well, again, look at you. You are not even meaning to, but you're helping me with my transitions. Thank you. So, I always ask people if you could give any advice to anyone listening, whether it's personal, Twitter, because Twitter Queen, podcasting, because you did have a podcast, anything like that, any advice you want to give people, here is your chance.
Okay. I think this is a piece of advice that probably goes into all areas that you mentioned, okay. But the advice would be stop looking over your shoulder. And when I say that, I mean like, we do something and we constantly look behind us to see what the next person is doing or who next to you is doing what. And I feel like that feeds into the anxieties of everyone who goes online or who's at work, who's at school, whatever. And because we're constantly competing with another person. Like we create this invisible competition because we want to be better. And it's like, yeah, sure, you want to be number one, but so does everybody else. So are you really ever going to be number one when everyone else is competing for the same slot? Like, there's nothing wrong with being number 2, number 80, number 100, etc. Just do what you think is best for you. It's easy to be like, yeah, I want to be, I want to lose weight or I want to gain muscle, or oh, I want to be the smartest person. It's like that's great, but is that really in line with you, like with who you are? Like not everyone. We're not all built the same.
Mm-hmm.
All we're just all different, like physically, mentally, emotionally, socioeconomically, etc. Just do what's best for you. So, if that means having a small podcast with 100 listeners, or if that means, having a Twitter account with only 70 followers, like whatever feels good for you, stop looking over your shoulder, because I'm telling you right now, that person may seem like they're doing better, but you don't know what issues or hardships they had to go through to get there. And you also don't know whose toes they had to step on. Like, I think a lot of people forget that in order for you to reach to the top, you have to step on so many people beneath you. And you don't really feel good. Like, it kind of does eat up at your soul at one point. Unless you're a fucking robot like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. But eventually, the rapture will come for them. But anyway, it's another topic. Yeah, so just stop looking over your shoulder, concentrate what's in front of you, and that's it.
Yeah, and you brought up you don't know like what someone else is going through, and it's something I bring up every one of these. Justin likes to tell people I sneak it in somehow, and I make the conversation like this somehow every episode because
You
I always
have to.
well, yeah. So, like, I always have on screen the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which
Mhm.
is 1-800-273-TALK, which is 8255, and the crisis text line, which you can text hello 741-741. And I have it in the description of the video and the audio because
Love that.
it's important to talk about it.
Exactly. You want to hear a funny story about the suicide hotline?
Interesting sentence, but
A story that happened to me. That's just that.
yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I'm intrigued now.
I'm more than happy to share with it, because I think humor, does kind of it just kind of does make things. It feels it allows things to be relatable and more digestible to some people,
Okay.
right? All right. So, I do struggle with my mental health a lot. Some days are good, some days are bad, some days are fucking disgusting. And I've been aware of, what I need to work on. And, luckily I've been working with therapists, and I have a great supportive partner. So, like I've been having some really good days lately, and I'm really proud of myself. So there was this one day that it was just one of those days, and I ended up calling the suicide hotline. Yo, so they transferred me to the local hotline in New York City. Tell me how I was put on hold.
Stop.
So then I was put on hold for like 10 minutes. So then, they tell you like this, whatever may be recorded. So then the person picked up, and, very sweet, very young sounding, clearly very underpaid, very minimum wage. Like I felt so bad. I'm like, dude, you probably are still in school. You probably haven't even graduated from your psychology degree yet. So he's like, yeah, so, tells me, like, tell me what brings you onto this call. And I say, can I just say that had you not gotten on, like, I probably would have just killed myself from the wait time, like, honestly, have you guys thought about that? And he's like, he, he felt so, I was like, yo, think about it. You could have just came on the phone and nobody would have been here. What if they would just, and then he's like, wow, that's really morbid. And I felt so bad. Like, I'm sorry, that was a very inappropriate joke. So obviously, we continued our conversation, but afterwards he was like, yeah, I guess you're, going back to what you said earlier, I guess you're right. Maybe we shouldn't have a wait time. I'm like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't. So that was a quirky thing that happened to me. But yes, absolutely call the hotline if you ever feel to also have a supportive person, someone that you can actually go to that won't judge you for how you feel, and someone that's not going to try to fix you. Because I think a lot of times when we have a friend or loved one who's going through something, we want to give them solutions. Like, hey, don't be depressed. Be happy. Hey, drink some water. Go have exercise. And I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. I will fucking fling myself right now from the oncoming traffic. And, people will be like, oh, wow. Haha. And so you need someone who is just going to listen to you, just going to hear you out, is going to let you vent, let you feel those feelings, and then, just kind of let you take the lead of the conversation. Because sometimes, like, people, and they mean well, they want to help. But sometimes some of the things that they'll say, I'm like, that's not helping me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, telling me to go drink water, I'm not even thirsty. Like, that's me right now.
You said I'm not even thirsty.
By the way, trigger warning on this whole entire episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a trigger warning in the descriptions.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm good about that. I got you. Don't worry. But no, honestly, I've seen so
I'm
many
not
people.
trying to get you canceled yet. Like, damn.
If anything, TC's episode probably got me canceled. This episode probably is never gonna go up.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to listen to that.
Yeah.
Need tomorrow to go somewhere, so I'm just gonna power it on.
Yeah. Well, TC's comes out November 1st.
Ooh, let me put that on my calendar then.
You said calendar?
Hold on, November 1st. There we go, Katie's pod.
All
right.
That's me.
On my phone.
And the crazy thing you brought up, like being put on hold. I know so many people who are like, yeah, I called and was fucking put on hold. It's actually a thing that happens. It's so fun.
It is.
It's
it's funny to talk about it now, because you're sitting here, but it also just kind of highlights the issues with with America's healthcare system and America's, mental health system overall.
Garbage.
I feel like serious topics become aestheticized and it loses its meaning. Like not too long ago, if you told someone you're going to a therapist, they thought, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you got problems. Now you tell someone you go to a therapist, it's like a joke. Like, oh, haha, memes, right? Therapy, right? Haha. And it's like, no, dude, like I really need to talk to someone because I feel a lot of negative thoughts. And people will come out with these slogans and these like, oh, self-care and talk to someone and oh, everyone's going through stuff. And it's like, yes, that is it, but there's so many, like there's an intersectionality to mental health that I feel like not a lot of people talk about. When we think about mental health, we think about the worst thing, which is someone ending their life. And it's like, it shouldn't just be that. Like, that's not the only, like, that's an extreme of mental health. That's the thing. Like, it's a spectrum. It could be someone who doesn't know how to process their feelings, or someone who, doesn't know how to open up to people, or someone who just, they are anxious or they're worried or they're grieving. Like, grieving and mourning is a mental health thing, especially when you lose someone or something that that you care about. So it's easy for people to be like, oh, ways to improve your mental health, exercise, water. It's like, why is I just don't understand why, like, now it's like the same things that someone tells you to do when you're losing weight is the same thing someone tells you for your mental health. It's like, listen, weight and mental health have no correlation, as we've seen. Like, I'm about to be morbid, but a lot of skinny people kill themselves. Let's just be honest. All right, let's just be fucking honest. Like, a fat person is not gonna try to fling themselves off a bridge. Like, that's a lot of work. Like, can we even get over the railing? We're gonna be stuck on the rail before we even make it over. We're gonna be like, fuck this. Oh no, I'm gonna go back in my car because this is too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, that's supposed to be a joke, but I'm just saying, like, we don't really talk about how, first of all, the accessibility of it. A lot of times people who have mental crises or emotional issues tend to be people who have poor backgrounds, who just can't afford
Mm-hmm.
to go see a therapist. You have to think, hey, do I put food on the table or do I go seek help for therapy? You kind of lean towards the food option or hey, do I pay my gas bill or do I go see a counselor? And then, also on the counselor side, it's like we don't pay these people enough. Like this is a heavy job to deal with, to hear. Sometimes you might hear some lighthearted stuff, but a lot of times you hear the heavy
Mm-hmm.
traumatic stories about somebody, especially when you have to deal with kids. And we're paying them $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year. Like that's not enough for me to deal with the emotional trauma of somebody else. We're not protecting our mental health providers. So what happens is you get some fucking hungover college student come in, work this little hotline so he can make money, and they're probably not the best equipped for certain situations. So if there's another takeaway from this episode is like when you do think about mental health, just take into consideration that it is a privilege still. There's a lot of people who can afford it, who can get quality care, and who can actually talk to someone versus others who that is so far beyond their mind that by the time that they recognize they need it, it's too late.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm just gonna put trigger warning from like a minute 45 to like an hour to just be safe. I'll be like, this whole walk, don't listen if you don't want to. Which I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I get it. I went to college for social work, so
Mm-hmm.
and before that it was psychology, so I was almost a counselor.
Right. And you would have been making what, minimum wage right now? Fucking
I would be making nothing.
right. Making nothing but having the emotional toll
Yep,
of having to take that with you.
it's terrible.
You can't just turn it off. You can't just get up from your office like, all right, clocking out.
Yeah, especially me. I'm an emotional ass person. I'm taking that shit home with me. I'm sitting down. I'm having a cry.
Right.
It's terrible. So maybe it's a good
So
thing I didn't go into that.
no. Trust me. It's just something that I truly like. Not to get too into it, but I did grow up in a household with an adult who did need, a lot of therapy. So or someone who had a diagnosed mental illness. So to grow up around that, to see that, and then just to see how people treat it now, it's like, yo, this is not a fucking meme. This is not a little joke for your Twitter. Like this is some real life shit, So fucking just be respectful of each other. Like look how many fucking wrestlers be, like having issues all the time. And then when we hear about it, that's when they pass away. And then all of a sudden we're making tributes. I'm like, where the fuck were you when they were struggling?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't care. You were making fun of them in tweet. Here's a tweet. I found it right here. You were making fun of them.
Yeah.
So,
It's fucking awful.
anyways, on to a lighter topic because
Oh, don't worry. We're moving on to a little lighter topic, but I always like just having conversations like that because people need to hear it, especially from you, because insightful queen right here. Look at you.
insightful queen.
Get a shirt made.
And I'm gonna wear it around the house. And my partner's gonna be like, take that shit off. You ain't nice. Like you are rude.
You are rude, disrespectful, out of pocket. That's okay.
He says I'm out of pocket like maybe 4 times a day. Like I'll say some. I will admit I will say some hot shit at home, and he will be like, "Don't ever say that out loud." And when I say hot shit, out of pocket shit, that's not racist. It's not homophobic or transphobic. It just be like things that nobody would ever question. Like because I think that there is a way for you to make shock comedy without crossing that line.
Exactly.
Like, it's possible, but people don't know how to.
Key word. People don't know how. So, if you could write an autobiography of your life to this point, what would be the title of it and why? And again, you don't have to explain why if you do not want to.
Oh wow, that's a really good question. Hmm. Oh, it will be fuck dot dot dot. I'm alive. Yep, there it is.
There it is.
Like it's like when you're a baby, and baby shit,
Baby
and
shit.
then you hit that consciousness at like 3 years old. You're like, oh shit, fuck, I'm alive, and
You're
that's
like,
when you just your brain wakes up. You're like, oh wow, I'm a person, and then you just start going through life. So like, fuck, I'm alive.
I I love that. It's so to the point. That's my favorite question to ask because every answer so far has been so different.
Really?
It's it's my favorite question.
Hopefully mine's the best. Fuck TC, by the way. They didn't even do anything wrong to me. I just said that.
Jesus.
I love them though.
TC's great. Everyone's great. Everyone we get to talk to on a daily are great people.
Yeah. Wait, what was Warren's answer? Actually, never
No,
mind.
I
You have
didn't.
it.
So I didn't do that one yet.
Oh, okay, all right,
So we're
cool.
setting it because like he's had a busy week, PWI,
Yeah.
150, all that. And
Mm-hmm.
last night I asked him, and he was like, "Oh, I'd love to, but like not for next like week." I was like, "I'll hit you up
Right.
in like a few weeks. Don't worry. You're a busy man. I
Then he's like,
understand."
I'll have my people call your people. He's so famous.
He's famous. My first celebrity. Can't wait.
Big move, baby girl.
Now, you like we said, you're no longer part of a podcast. But do you have any
Yeah.
future plans to maybe start another one, be a guest on someone's within the next like maybe 2 months? Off the top of your
So
head.
actually, so there is a new episode. So I did Coffee Talk with Sir Wilkins. This is the second Coffee Talk we did together. So definitely be on the lookout for that one because I made fun of The Rock on that one, and he got so hurt by it. So it's just me bullying Sir Wilkins for 5 minutes. So it's like my favorite pastime, honestly, and I love that guy. As okay, so I do miss podcasting a lot, and the circumstances surrounding why we had to stop it, mm, it kind of made me like realize like shit, I should not have done that. But I would love to be a guest on other people's podcasts. I would actually love to be a recurring like host on someone else's podcast as long as I don't have to do the work because I was doing the work by myself and it was just a lot.
Mhm.
I would happily be the Twitter person. I would happily talk shit on Twitter. But I just need a more supportive host, so to speak, or co-host. But as far as my own podcast, I don't know. I've thought about it. I've thought of having my own like a variety show where we talk about different things and kind of go into like not wrestling centric, but just go into a lot of topics that I'm passionate about. But I'm not sure. So nothing in the next 2 months for myself, but definitely doing collabs with other people.
Good. And when I drop this episode, I'm gonna demand people tell us if you think Gizzy should have a variety show podcast.
Ooh, that would be nice. We could do like a little poll when it drops.
I gotta write it down.
Could do like a little poll. If you guys want to know my stance on a lot of world topics, if you will.
I feel like everyone should want to know that. Now, I've asked you a plethora of questions for the past hour and some change. Do you have any questions for me? Podcast, personal, anything you want to know?
Well, I'm not trying to expose you or whatever.
Okay.
Let's play Fuck Mary Kill. I would love to get your insight on this.
Okay.
Okay. So the first category is scumbags.
Okay.
Fuck, marry, kill. Um, damn, I forgot his name. Matt Riddle, Randy Orton,
Okay.
or Chris Jericho.
I'm killing Matt Riddle. I can't. For the love of God, I cannot. I I I. Mm-mm. Um.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh God. Uh. Oh God. I don't know. I'll fuck Jericho, marry Randy.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Actually, speaking of Riddle, did you hear him and his wife are splitting up?
I mean, not surprising. I do see memes about that, and that shit cracks me
Okay.
up.
Well, she has been on Twitter going off
Really?
about, yes. Baby girl, I gotta send you the tweets later. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not surprised though, because that whole thing that came
Yep.
out and the way that she was defending him, I'm like, bitch, you're stupid. I'm like, you are a dumbass for believing that man. That man don't even clean the bottom of his feet. You think that man is faithful? No.
There we go.
All right. The second category is gonna be sexy men of color. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Damian Priest. Um, damn, what's his name? The dude from NXT in the Liga de Fantasma. What's his?
Santos Escobar.
There you go, Santos Escobar. You gotta roll that R. Or Andrade, the sexy Latinos of wrestling.
Oh shit! I love me some Latinos.
I know it's a hard one.
Damn, this actually is a really hard one.
It is a hard one, I know.
I'm gonna. Oh man, um, fuck Andrade.
Okay.
Marry Damian Priest. I'm sorry, Santos.
I was gonna go the same direction, okay? The same direction. Damian Priest, yo, that man's voice.
It's not. It's a crime. It's not
That
fair.
man's, yo, he's so fucking fine, and he's from New York. Like, I don't like New York men per se.
Checks.
I hope. Let me check. They tend to be a little toxic, especially Hispanic men. But I will happily break my rule for Damian Priest.
As you should. As you fucking should.
Now we're gonna do a serious conversation because I'm pretty sure people are listening to this like, what the fuck are these horny bitches talking about? All right. So, what are your 3 goals for your podcast?
Oh shit. That took such a turn. I should have expected it. I mean, one main thing is I just want to grow this podcast because so She Lead itself, the overall thing that I'm doing, we started in September, and so we're only about like a month old. On top of the year I had with Smack Draw, so like
Right.
people know me kind of. So I got a little bit of a following from that, but I want to grow it, and like I want Inside the Mind of this to be my baby. Like I take so much pride in this because I love doing the weekly show and everything, and I love Savannah to pieces, and she knows that. But this is like my pride and joy right now.
Yes, and it's so unique because there's so many avenues you can go with this. So you can interview like indie wrestlers and kind of just get to know a side of them that no one really sees.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we want to interview them and ask some serious questions, but sometimes you just want to know, like, yo, listen, if you, what's that fucking Reddit post that's going viral? Like, oh, you can have $100 million for life and immortality, but every time it's such fucking. I gotta look it up.
I was gonna say I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about right now.
Is this snail meme?
Oh no.
That's fucking going around, and it's so stupid. And everyone's like, okay, here it is. So it's like a hypothetical situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you receive $10 million in exchange for having a snail follow you wherever you go for the rest of your life. And if that snail kills you, if that snail touches you, you're killed.
Are people like okay?
I don't know. They really are not. They really are not. Like, and mind you, I love hypotheticals because I think they're so funny, and you can go
Yeah.
anywhere. This shit is stupid.
Why a snail? Like I get it, they're
This is
slow, but
I'm like, first of all, there's no such thing. All you need to do is put that bitch in some salt, and it will never follow you ever again.
honestly, that's it.
Okay, that's it. Just put it in some salt,
Salt
put it
turtle.
in a jar, leave it somewhere.
Just leave that bitch somewhere. Honestly.
I'm like, you guys are stupid. Like, oh, I will move to another country. I'm like, okay, so
Plot
what?
twist: snails on the plane with you. Like, what are you gonna
Snails
do?
on the plane. Exactly. He's in fucking first class having a glass of champagne.
Instead of
He's
snakes on a
meet
plane,
you.
snails on a plane.
Snails on the plane. I'm tired of these motherfucking snails on the motherfucking plane. And it's just like slimy everywhere, so everyone's like stripping and falling apart.
And the way to beat them, salt.
It's salt. There you
That's
go.
it. That's literally it. That's how you do it.
I'm like, quick, opening your seasoning packets.
Oh my god, that's I want that sequel now. I need it.
Snails on a plane. Oh my.
Choked. You asked me what 3 things I wanna.
Yes.
Okay.
I think just any goal that you have for the podcast, yourself, just in general.
Actually, one of the goals I had was to get Warren for this, so
Okay.
I got that. Well, I got
All
that
right.
kind of. It's not done yet, but it will happen.
It's like in progress.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all.
And like just trying to expand outside of the little circle that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm slowly doing that.
It's hard.
It is. Like I have a comfort zone that's about this big. I don't want to go out of the comfort zone, which is why I'm doing this interview series with all of my friends first, because I'm comfortable with them and I get to know them on a deeper level, because friendship isn't just a surface level thing.
Oh wow, that's deep, because I've been trying to work through that with my therapist. So
I told you, social work psychology right here.
Like I have a bad habit of like, I'll have friends, but they won't know jack shit about me.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll unload on them randomly. I'm like, yeah, I gotta do this, this, and this because blah blah. And they're like, you have siblings? And I'm like, yeah. So, and I think that was just like, that's just my own thing, because I've been disappointed by so many people in my life that I'm just like, not gonna do this again.
I'm the same way.
We're gonna be friends from like afar, from distance. You don't know shit about me. I know way too much about you, and that's gonna work.
It's a one-sided thing, but it's fine. You don't gotta know nothing about me. Like
right, like it's okay. Trust me. Like keeping my expectations low so that you don't disappoint me. All right, like like I honestly, during my funeral, I want all those people who disappointed me to lower my casket so they can let me down one last time.
I've seen that. I agree.
Like just one last.
I see the version of like anyone who's ever let me down in group projects.
Yeah.
Because like that shit was so real in high school and college. Like you gotta do all the work, and these people are getting all the credit. I'm that kid. I was like, yo, listen, they didn't do shit. Failing.
Right. Listen, I'm the type of person where I take charge in these group projects. So funny enough, I just did one at my job. So we're all sitting on Zoom and it's awkward. Zoom could be awkward when you don't know that person. So we're sitting around. I'm like, okay, so what do we want to do, guys? What any ideas? Like, I'm trying to include everyone, so it doesn't look like I'm like taking over. But then, I was like, hey, all right, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. That way we can all say that we worked on it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do your part, then you're not getting credit. That's all. That's how it works.
That's
So,
life.
all right. Well,
That's how it should be.
that's how it should be. But we've clearly seen people get ahead even when they don't do nothing. So,
Too many
like,
people.
anyways,
yeah. As say for now, just mainly growing the podcast and just getting outside of my comfort zone with it. I guess for now.
I did that.
Did you have any other questions you wanted to ask me?
You know what? Probably super inappropriate right now, but maybe for the next one. We gotta leave some content for the next show,
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
We gotta leave them wanting something more. They're like, ooh, damn, this episode was great.
This episode was a blast. This episode was a hoot and a half, and I fucking loved it.
If you get canceled, I apologize.
I'm telling you, if it's not TC, it's gonna be you, and it's fine.
I will send you an Amazon gift card.
Deal. It's recorded. That was a deal. That was a deal.
Exactly. It's recorded.
Video evidence of this happening. See? Evidence.
Damn.
Someone take me to court. I dare you.
CYA, cover your ass.
Oh my god. But I gotta say thank you for doing this with me. This was, again, so fucking fun. You gotta tell the people where they can find you and just explain everything you're doing on Twitter.
All right. So my Twitter was the former Deadass Girls Twitter that I have now taken over. It is at deadassgizzy, Gizzy. You will know it's me because my profile photo is Mr. Vince McMahon wearing a do-rag. Mm-hmm. So that's me. I like to tweet stupid shit about wrestling, a lot of hot takes, a lot of Tony Storm thick tweets. Those are the popular ones. So if you want to follow that, go ahead. If you want to follow my art page on Instagram, it's actually Gizzy Doodles, so Gizzy Doodles, Doodles. So I post little cute doodles to make everyone's day a little happy, a little cheerful. I don't really tend to give out my personal Instagram like that because I don't need people in my business. But you might, send me a request. I may not accept it. So that's how it is. If you want to, you could try, but I'm not accepting.
Oh man. And of course, for everything Sheelite, you can follow my Twitter at KatieRasslin13, Linktree in my bio, twitch.tv/Sheelite Showcase, our YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts with some bitches because I still can't figure it out and it doesn't let me do anything. So I'm very pissed off.
Follow the OnlyFans as well.
My own.
Katie's OnlyFans is Sheelite. Sheelite Cheeks. All right, go ahead and send her some money.
Katie ain't got no OnlyFans. Get out of here. Oh man, but by the time this comes out, I'll already have. We have so many just weekly episodes of She Lead Out, all the past episodes of Inside the Mind of. We'll have the group collab show that I'm trying to do every month with different people. So the month of October, because that's when we're filming this, even though this goes up literally the end of fucking November. Month in advance. Plan ahead, people. So at least the first one, more than likely the second one will be out. So check those out. It's not just wrestling. I promise. It's just
everything.
It's literally, I'm just trying to get people together to talk about a little bit of wrestling, but then trying to find common goals and things that people like amongst the group that I bring together. So I'm just trying to bring the world together one podcast at a time.
Love that, truly. Katie, thank you for having me. You are one of the sweetest, nicest, down to earth people. You're just super down to earth. You just like, I just want to meet you in person. I just want to take you on an adventure, get like, wasted in New York, whatever, wake up missing a shoe, some kind of thing. Plus, we got that East Coast connection.
Yes.
Like, you're in Philadelphia, I'm in New York. Like, it's just.
I'm in Pittsburgh.
Yes. Okay, wait, but is it? Oh my God, why do I keep saying Philadelphia? The state is called Pennsylvania. I'm an idiot. I'm forgetting that Pennsylvania be like the actual name of the state.
Everybody does. Because you're either from or near Philly, or you're either from or near Pittsburgh.
Yes. Okay, there you go, Pittsburgh. Which I heard Pittsburgh is kind of dope. I haven't been there yet, so I'm looking forward to it one day.
Pittsburgh's dope. If you show up, you gotta hit me up. I'll come meet you. I'll take you downtown.
I have to. It's like a train ride away.
It's
from me.
It's not bad.
So it's not even that long, so I definitely gotta do like a little weekend out there.
Road trip. Girls' day. Girls' weekend. Hey.
Girls' day.
Hey. I'll get us a hotel room downtown. Say less.
Oh.
She said say no more. But thank you again, Gizzy. Thank you everyone who's been listening and watching this. I hope you watch it because you just gotta see the reactions.
You have to.
And we'll catch you guys next time, so see you later.
Peace, love, chicken grease, goodbye.